Just shouldn't even brought that up, man. All right.
A.J. Brown, he's going to get his. It's hard to stop a guy like that, but I think what you can do is try to shut down Devontae Smith.
Devontae's a dog, man. I mean, look, you put Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean ain't covering T.J. Hawkinson. That's not going to happen.
Like, if you hit DJ Chark early on a 20-yard pass down the field, they're not going to be able to keep the safeties up in that box. I'm ready to see DJ Chark go out there and take the top off of the defense.
Dion, final score prediction, and I guess how you expect this game to go. I'm getting ready to introduce Detroit Lions royalty. No one can break a game down in this town. I guess technically he's not in this town, but as Detroit content creators, like my guy, Dose of Dion.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Hey, what up, though, man?
Hey, how we doing, man? I appreciate the invite again because, like I said, like I love doing these shows, but the energy of this one's just different, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
We appreciate you joining us every time, man.
You're literally going to school, or you're learning how to scout like right now, like from the pros. Like, what are your key takeaways, or what are the keys for Lions victory in your eyes? I guess maybe start with the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it, I shouldn't have, but yeah, I think early downs are going to be huge in this game. I think last time we saw him play, and we had a couple successful plays. Actually, we started the game with a really successful play against a coverage that they just kept running against us. Saw right up the seam to Hawkinson. It was like, man, we're rolling. And that's just how it goes, right? You have like an 18-yard pickup, then after that, it's like, okay, we never get that again. It was bad after that, but I think early downs are going to be huge. When we ran the football, we didn't have much successful plays. I actually think, I don't know the numbers exactly, but I think we had more success actually passing the ball on early downs. But as long as we could just stay out of those second and long situations, I think that's going to be huge. And that was really the case last year with a lot of our games. Part of that's because I don't think we had some of the firepower on the outside where we had to stay ahead of chains, but I think that's going to be huge in this one. We know flags came up and bit us sometimes. In certain games, like I felt like Chicago, we lost it because of flags. So early downs for me is huge.
Yeah, I'm with you. What's offensive key for me? I'm thinking too, like DeAndre Swift. Again, I need him early and often. And I think out of the backfield too, like as a receiving back, and Madden disrespected him. You were here when we were going over that. It's 68 catch rating, but he's a dog out of the backfield. And one thing you can say about guys catching balls out of the backfield, you don't double team him.
Yeah.
You can't double team him. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we're truly utilizing him as a receiver, again, out of that backfield, which we've heard them talk about all summer in Ben Johnson's offensive scheme, even sometimes putting him in the slot even, I think that's going to be something we can take advantage of. I know they got Nakobe Dean. Do they have any other big-name linebackers that I'm missing or can't think of?
I wouldn't say big name.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
not really any big names.
I think that's an area of their defense that we could for sure exploit and expose. And Goff is, he don't really throw downfield 100%. Often anyway.
No, I'll add a little note to that because I think you made a great point right there. The linebackers is the spot where, I mean, if we had any success in this game, it was tight end. It was DJ Hawkinson, and like you said, Swift had an awesome catch in this game. The linebackers in this one, if there is a weakness, maybe is linebacker. But I mean, look, you put Nakobe Dean ain't covering TJ Hawkinson. Like, that's not going to happen. So you're going to have to adjust things there. So, yeah, I mean, that part of the field, like underneath, middle, the flats, all those things, when they go to zone, I mean, I think that's the spot where, that you should cook. And I feel like this is a game where you can have those long drives. Like you were hitting on earlier, Spencer. I mean, you can have these long drives in this game and keep them off the field.
Yeah. And that's, I think, another takeaway for me is setting that up because, you want to run the ball. You need to establish that run. Milk some of that clock, do things like that, have these long drives. But to do that, you need to get guys out of the box. You need to get, put the fear in them of a deep shot, put the fear in them of that passing game. So I'd like to see them go early to a guy like DJ Chark, go early to a guy like Josh Reynolds, make a play down the field so they can't load that box up and stop the run. So that makes it a little softer in there. I think something like that to establish these weapons, establish that running game early, and then we can show them that later. Like, if you hit DJ Chark early on a 20-yard pass down the field, they're not going to be able to keep the safeties up in that box. They're going to have to put somebody back there to make sure he doesn't get behind the defense. So that is a thing that I'm looking forward to because we didn't see any of it in preseason. We didn't see any of it in Hard Knocks. Like, I'm ready to see DJ Chark go out there and take the top off of the defense.
Yeah, that too. And I think the most threatening part of their defense is that secondary. You know what I'm saying? Like Slay, Bradbury, CJ, DJ, like, let my running back get busy. You know what I'm saying? Let DeAndre Swift hit that 1K season he wants. You know what I'm saying? Let him get down, let him get dirty. And, again, TJ against those linebackers, give it to me all day. Even Amon-Ra. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't think Goff is going to be able to take off the top, especially within the secondary. But in the middle, in the shallow parts, I can see him getting down for sure.
Just the look of it, like walking out there with Chark, I mean, should just impact a defense. Just by the way they come out and line up. You know, it should just be like, okay, at least we know he's out there. Like, this is a team that gave up the highest completion percentage in football last season. So I think
I didn't know that.
You can get underneath passes. Yeah, it's just those shot plays, like you said, maybe just having him out there is just enough of a threat. But I mean, it would be cool. Even if we don't complete it, just try it.
Just try it. Yeah, you got to show them that you're willing to do it. Yeah.
Going on to the defense, Vinny.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple of keys of the game. I think, defensively, keys of the game for the Lions. Obviously, containing Jalen Hurts is a big one. We know what he did on the ground. But one I looked at that I kind of didn't really think about early leading up to this is staying attached to Goddard. Like, Goddard killed us last year. He had 6 catches for 72 yards. You need to stay attached to him because, as we know, we've talked about Jalen Hurts, in his subpar throwing arm. He might not be able to hit those passes down the field. So taking away a guy like Dallas Goedert would be huge. If you take that out of the offense, you can't let him get easy yards in the middle of the field. You got to make sure there's a man glued to him. You got to make sure you're thumping him when he catches the ball because it's just an easy pitch and catch to a tight end, especially one of his skill. And that will get Jalen Hurts in a rhythm. That will give him some confidence if he's dumping off balls to his tight end. So I think attacking Dallas Goedert, make sure he doesn't beat you on the field is a big factor defensively for the Lions.
No, on defense, I mean, this is the one obvious one. I don't want to be an asshole and take it.
Yeah.
So I get, yeah. Maybe I'll just
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Take Jalen Hurts.
Go with your key, man. You take it, man.
Just force him to beat you from the pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's something we can do, especially after that year of tape. I think we went over it yesterday. I don't know if it was you who mentioned it or somebody else, but maybe it was Flint or Sam, but he rarely attempted more than 14 passes a game. You know what I'm saying? He beat a lot of people by his feet. And looking back at this regime against scrambling quarterbacks, I looked at Jalen Hurts. He capitalized the most on us. He had 71 yards against us last year in that Eagles team. Again, our team, both offense and defense, was depleted.
Yes.
A.J. Parker was a starter for us. Again, another guy in our practice squad now, and I think he was even hurt in that game. But Lamar Jackson, second most yards in that one, 58, but he really didn't do nothing until he broke off for that big one towards the end of the game. You go to Justin Fields, only 9 yards. Kyler Murray, only 3. I think that AG truly can, again, I guess, tailor something together to kind of limit Jalen Hurts, but he's going to break out for one. It's just these guys, it's how it goes down. But that's an obvious one.
Yeah, I mean, you brought that up to me, so it was like, man, I got to check that out, see what they were doing. And you're right, we did really well against scrambling quarterbacks last year, quarterbacks that like to get out of the pocket. And that's one thing that I think that hits on both of your points when you talk about take away Dallas Goedert. When you see Jalen Hurts play, and it's just kind of the sense I get, I'm going to keep watching more, but when I watch him, it's like he's going to – okay, the thing I like about Aaron Glenn, I love about Aaron Glenn, is the way that he will not give you the same look. He's not going to give you the same look all the time. You're not going to really have a sense of always what they're in. They disguise a lot of things defensively. And I think for Hurts, he can kind of get his, first where he's looking to go. But if that breaks down, usually the go-to is let me get outside the pocket. Now, he may still look to throw it, but he's trying to get outside the pocket. Even when there wasn't pressure, there were times where he was just taking off, trying to get outside of the pocket. And you're right, the times that he scrambled and had those big chunks, because he had a few of them that game, it was basically the same thing they were hitting with. It was the same type of scrambles that he was picking up big yards on, the same type of breakdowns for us. And it was, the linebacker and the cornerback would kind of get picked up. They would take the receiver, and it was like, well, there leaves a hole in the zone. So we got rush lanes are going to be super important. And I would say for me, when I look at it, run defensively, I'm really curious. We talk about these scheme changes, see what it looks like, because I thought guys like Alex were so darn patient in this game, kind of sitting back, letting things happen, and we were getting mauled, man. I mean, their whole line was just blowing us off the line.
Yeah.
I want to see how this goes because we didn't see much Aleem, but if there was a best D lineman in that game to me, it was Aleem McNeil. When he was out there, he was handling these guys on the inside, which I get they have a great old line. But I think we have some bodies that can at least compete. And I think Aleem McNeil is one of those. Of course, Hutchinson's a completely different player. We do well against design runs. When Jalen's got an option or a read, we do well usually containing the edge. We saw that against Kyler. But the scrambles, of course, but I think we can match up a little bit with our defensive line. I mean, they look really good in the preseason.
Yeah, and that is another one for me is to get pressure on the quarterback, is to get, penetration in that backfield by rushing not by blitzing. You need because you need those linebackers out there to be a safety net for if Jalen Hurts gets out of the pocket. You need to make sure that they can contain him. So you need to get back there and put some pressure on him, or get in that backfield, hit that running back early without blitzing, using those those down linemen there to get back there and make the pressure. So that was another one for me, because I think it's vitally important that we keep those linebackers free to make decisions on where Jalen Hurts is going, rather than trying to get an extra rusher in there.
It's such a, I mean, he hit on it, man. I saw that even when we don't bring an extra rusher, if we're dropping a defensive lineman and bringing a linebacker off the edge, it throws off everything.
Yes.
And all Jalen Hurts has to just do is escape, and then there's no one watching the quarterback at that point. So, yeah, you get more guys that are just responsible for that. Changes a lot, because we did not get pressure with 4. Charles got a couple in there. I want to see Charles match up against their left tackle again. But other than that, it was nothing.
And then finally, one of my other points that I wrote down was about Devontae Smith, because I think, A.J. Brown, he's going to get his. It's hard to stop a guy like that. He's an elite receiver for a reason. We don't know how they're going to use him yet. We don't know if Jalen Hurts will be able to use him down the field in passes like that. But I feel like A.J. Brown's going to get his, so you can't really focus too much into stopping A.J. Brown, because he's going to make it happen. But I think what you can do is try to shut down Devontae Smith. You got to make sure that their number 2 target stays locked down. Like, on top of Dallas Goedert, you need to make sure that he isn't getting an open space. He isn't getting off the line cleanly. You have a guy shadowing him, because he can be just as explosive with the ball in his hand. So I think making sure he's locked down, while, I don't want to say just forgetting about A.J. Brown, but,
forget about him.
Just let A.J. Brown be A.J. He's going to get his. There's not much you can do to stop that. So I think you should focus more on making sure Devontae Smith doesn't get free in that secondary.
So A.J. Brown is kind of like our DJ Chark, right? It's just the presence of him. You're like, all right, well, now they have to put 2 safeties because that dude's here. Devontae's a dog, man. I would love to see Jerry match up with Devontae. Just skill set, but I like Okuda on that matchup for this one. I mean, way more than I like Ermanni on that matchup, but you're right. Devontae Smith is a problem.
It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough matchup for our secondary for sure.
Yeah, I think they have some dogs at receivers. Again, can Jalen Hurts get the ball to him? And I did a little bit of digging yesterday. I don't know if you heard, but AG said that Malcolm Rodriguez is going to have a big role in this our defense come Sunday. I think a lot of it, just knowing him as a former quarterback, a former safety, a guy who ran a 4.5 at the combine, and maybe it was faster than that. But I think he might be the spy for Jalen Hurts. And I also think we're kind of sleeping on the fact that J.T. Barrett was signed to this Lions squad as an assistant coach. And maybe he was the guy replicating Jalen Hurts in practice, and maybe a little bit more looks at Jalen Hurts and what he does through JT. And I'm hoping Malcolm's a spy at least. But you think that's what's going to be situational, or the situation for Malcolm, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, hold up. Are you guys wearing the jersey on the game day? Is that what's... Everywhere the jersey.
Yeah.
That's what popped in my head immediately.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you guys. Malcolm's gonna be huge, man. I really think so. They're athletically, who else matches up with him? And it's you said Dallas Goedert. Do you really want him on Dallas Goedert that often? Probably not. So he's a guy that I'm gonna get creative with him. Same thing with Board as well. I think those 2 guys could do some things to slow down Jalen Hurts a little bit. With all the running they do, to me it's weird. I feel like I could trust Malcolm than maybe any other linebacker that we have on this team. I know it's he's only played the preseason, but I just feel like he's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's going to keep things inside. He's going to just be there. I mean, sometimes with Alex, I'm I don't really know. Derek Barnes, he might just go real steep and be I'm making the play. It doesn't happen. I like them all, but Malcolm Rodriguez, I just feel like where he's going to be.
For sure.
100%, man. Dion, final score prediction, and I guess how you expect this game to go.
All right, did you guys give your score predictions there, or are you guys holding on to those?
I haven't.
We haven't yet. No. Yeah.
You go first.
You can hold on.
You're the guest.
Okay, I was just hey, if you already got them out there. So this is probably subject to change, man. But I'm feeling 30-20 Lions, man.
Okay.
It sounds crazy, but I'm with you with you look at Philly, look at the games they won outside of their division, and look. I mean, they can blow out some teams, but they'll also get blown out by other teams. They play the same style consistently, so if you can slow down the run, I think you got a shot. I go 30-20.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Again, just based off theory, I look at the type of quarterbacks that are similar to Jalen Hurts. Year 2's never been good for him. Never. Kaepernick, RG3, and the list goes on and on. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is good from the pocket. He's just not. I think he's very. We had Philly, my guy Joe Castro on yesterday. He's very questionable for them as the franchise starter. Last year was kind of a surprise, and I think they benefited off a schedule similar to ours this year. It was the teams they beat, only one of them held a record over 500. Combined winning record 31%. I get the additions they made on defense, particularly or especially for me, is what concerns me. But I'm not that scared of them. But I'm gonna hold my final score for the end of the show.
Okay.
I think that's how we're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's how we're supposed to do it.
I think so. He's going Hollywood on us. We appreciate you, though, Dion. Shout out one time. Shout out your channel. Shout out everything you can. Plug it before we get you out of here.
Yeah, man. Just Dose of Dion on YouTube. I guess that's it. I post some random things on Twitter, on Instagram. It's not worth following, dude. I posted a picture of my socks one day. This isn't it.
No, you didn't. Did you really?
I did. It was terrible, man. I probably deleted it, but it's just shouldn't even brought that up, man. All right. I appreciate you guys, man. I'm looking forward to this. And
We
I hope
appreciate
to talk
you,
to
man.
you guys again soon.
Hey,
for sure.
Hit me up, man. I want to join you and Rad one of these days. I had a good time
Yes.
last time.
Yes, I will do that. We got to get all of you guys on here. We can do
Oh,
that.
100%.
for sure.
We're game, man.
Yes.
We're game.
Let's do it.
Appreciate you, man.
I'll
Thanks
see
for
you,
joining
brother.
us
Thank you.
yet again.
Yes, sir.
The man, the myth, the legend.